All right, now welcome to SC Custom Designs. I actually get to sit and not have to hold the camera. Isn't that nice? So what we're looking at here is a mini series on making bandsaw boxes. And forgiveness for shaking the camera. I want to get a little better view there. There we go. So we're working on this one here, which is the crack box. This one here, which is essentially you can see just a couple of random boards I found in the wood shop, and I've already bored out the let me come over this side, the drawers. So basically what you do is you cut the piece out, the block, and I entered here with the bandsaw. So just imagine this is lying down like this and going through the blade. And I want to go somewhere where it's not going to be very obvious, so that the would-be purchaser or gifted, whoever's going to get this, they don't see all the tricks in of the trade. They just see one solid piece or joined up piece, and they're trying to figure out how in the world did you actually cut this out. Let's see which one this goes in. The bottom one, right? So essentially, I'll try to throw it back together real quick. Put the blocks back in for you. And as a reminder, what you do, we'll show you with the last piece, the last block. You're going back and forth with your blade. I entered here and I cut the unit out, the block, and then I went down here and I cut this one out, and then I came over here. And what you do is you go back and forth so that when you join the wood back up again, there's strength and integrity. Okay. Remember, look at the previous videos. You cut this off first. This came out from the back, because at the end of the day, you're going to put this back on, glue it back on, so that these drawers don't disappear right through the back and fall out. I do make units by design that actually do that, but in this case, that's not the design. That's not the desired effect. Okay, so at the moment, I would say this unit looks very, maybe not so exciting. Okay, but when it's done, it's going to be really cool. All right, I don't know if I'll paint it. I generally don't paint them. I may in this case, because we have all this weird grain in all these directions. That may be something that will make it pretty cool. So there you go. All right, so you know, we've got options here. This can be the front of the unit, this bandsaw box, right? And you have all that in the back. Or this could be the front. So we don't know, I don't know what I'm going to be doing. Let's talk about the next unit, which is, and please look up the videos, the previous videos. I think I have at least 2 or 3 out, so you can follow the whole series and you can learn right along with the series. So this is what we call the crack box, and lots of folks have found this on the internet, like myself, and I wish I knew who made it available so I can give them credit. It's good to give credit where credit is due. But look at that video. It might be the second one, the first one, where we glue this on and how we do all that. Okay. So what I've done in the meantime is quite a bit of work. So let me just take these clamps off and we'll show you where we are. And I want to continue to share the tips on making bandsaw boxes. Along the journey, you learn a lot in woodworking and whatever it is that you're doing. And I like to pass that on. So isn't that cool, my friends? This is the crack box. And I glued on the back, which was once, you know, free floating like this. But it was time to bring this unit together. Okay? So there it is. Now I didn't bother squeezing each side in and gluing it and all this. I've done that in the past. I still think it looks pretty darn cool. At the end of the day, this unit is going to just be amazing. Okay? So watch the video where I describe how we cut the blocks out. Now let's go ahead and bring over a few. I've glued them all up and they're dry. You really only need, depending upon your conditions in your wood shop, temperature and humidity, really only a couple of hours to glue them up. But I was in no particular hurry, and I just let them sit overnight. So here we go. That's really all you need is a simple clamp like this. I'm not sponsored by Irwin. So there we go. Let's take it out. Let's see where it goes. All right. And I did suggest that you write on it. This is all front facing camera, so everything's reversed. But I wrote R and FR. So right and front. Then I have an arrow here, which points up. So that means it's going to go on the right somewhere. Look at that. It goes right there. So isn't that cool, my friends? And it's going to stop because I have the back on there. That's really the desired effect that I want. This one here says right front, so more than likely he's going to go there. There we go. Why it's a he, a she, who knows? I just say he. This says, and I also write B for back, and the arrow pointing up. Okay, so this says front and up. Okay, so let's take a guess that it's that one. It's not. Whoa. You don't really want to do that. They're not really super tough and super strong. So let's just try to eyeball it. There we go. That's where that guy goes. Pretty cool, right? That's just really, really awesome. I really enjoy making these. I had to use 2 clamps for the wider ones. And just remember, when you're gluing up, you don't want to put a lot of pressure. You don't want to squeeze all the glue out. You want to just take your time. Just get enough pressure so you see that glue being squeezed out a bit. And that'll be that. Okay, we've got 1 more to go. 2 more to go. More than 2. The crack box has got me cracking here. All right, so he's the front. He goes there. All right. Let's see what we got here. This says left front. Looks like he goes there. And we have 1 more to go. And there it is. Now that my friends is really, really cool. That is a real fun thing to make. And when the customer is coming, we do craft shows. Look up our craft shows, please. We only did 1 this year at the Maybe Farm. Look that up. 2 of our children were born at the Maybe Farm, the Maybe House, and registered as being born there because we were caretakers there. So at any rate, that's where I did some of my woodworking too, back in the early 90s, I believe it was. Or late 80s. Okay, so there it is. Look how beautiful. So in this case, you can see that I joined up a piece of wood here, 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 and here. Okay? So I want to be careful. I don't want to... look at the beauty of the back piece. That's just going to look amazing when it's stained. All right? Give you a little closer look there at the cracked part. Isn't that neat? So... I really like making these. My encouragement to you is if you're just starting out making bandsaw boxes, I wouldn't recommend making this right away. You might be a little discouraged. Plus, You got to get the skills in your hands and muscle memory with the bandsaw, okay? That being said, let's look at the next bandsaw box that we're doing, which is this. This is taking some more shape. If you look at the previous video, you're going to notice that we've done more to this. Okay, so here's the back piece. It's going to look gorgeous when it's stained. This is the front, and you can see what I've done is I've traced out where the blade is going to be cutting into the block, to the joined up wood. And I did a really interesting job here where it looks like one piece of wood, but it isn't. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 and some. But I lined the grain up so it actually looks like one piece of wood. Okay, so what I decided is to have 1 drawer, 2, 3, 4 drawers. Okay, a nice big hefty one down here. And if you look closely, you can see that I have the space between the drawers. And I want to remind you of a tip, and that is when you're cutting on the bandsaw, your blade's going to want to go in random directions. Even though you're making it go in one, it wants to go in another. Think about it. The grain, you got to consider the grain when you're cutting through the stock. And all I can say is, in this case with these lines, I'm not going to cut on this side. I'm going to cut on this side, okay? And remember, these lines are suggestions. If you think to yourself, well, I have to follow this here, you may break your blade. Blades are expensive. So you just want to think ahead and, you know, kind of do a dry run. One of the first things you're going to want to do is figure out which direction you're going to want to come into the stock. Remember what I said. You want to pick a line, pick the grain. So this piece of grain here, I might want to pick that piece of grain or up here and come in there, and now I can start cutting out the drawer. Okay? And remember to alternate when you're going through the stock. That way when you go to push the sides together, they join up evenly. They come together evenly. I just found my experience is that it works easier that way. You can see that I cut a little bit more out from the bottom. I really like the way that looks. This style bandsaw box is, you can't keep them on the shelf. They sell. In our last shop craft show, I sold one of these guys here and several other bandsaw boxes. So you want to also be very alert, as you can imagine, when you're working with a blade, with a bandsaw. I have a 14-inch jet. Please look up my series on how to repair them and what goes wrong and how to change a blade if you're a newbie. If you're not, then you can obviously skip that. But if you're new, then I invite you to look at, search through all my videos. Just go to Stephen Larkin. Actually, go to YouTube and type in Stephen Larkin with a V, Steven, space Larkin, and you'll find my channel. You can see it up here. It's in reverse. SC Custom Designs to this side of my head. So that's really all I wanted to cover. Watch the previous videos so you can see the progress, and you know, hopefully you can follow along. Now, earlier when I said to you that if you're a newbie, you're going to want to do the basic bandsaw boxes. Basic bandsaw boxes are cut out of a piece of stock like this, a 4x4. Okay, and when I think I mentioned in my last video, I went on the web and YouTube, and I found this one gentleman that seemed to just present in the way he did his videos made a lot of sense to me anyways. And so I watched his, and then I made my own. And when there was a break in this is not my full-time job. This is SC Custom Design. It's what we do on the side. I'm a QA software guy in the daytime. And so I had to look up my own video. But essentially, to make this a bandsaw box, what you would do is you would cut the back off, set that aside like you see me do here, okay? And then you want to start shaping out the unit. But look up that video. Maybe I'll try to think of putting the link in there of making these basic bandsaw. That's what you can search for, those basic bandsaw boxes in my channel, okay? And I explain how all that works. So we're really at the end of this segment again. I do have this one here, which I didn't have time to finish. Isn't that really cool? The curves on that guy. He's just got 2 drawers. This looks like, for all intents and purposes, one piece of wood. It is. It's one piece of wood. As a matter of fact, it's wood that my neighbor gave me from his job, because they make crates, and this is left over from that. So I've got lots of bandsaw boxes that I've made, and it's a lot of fun. Please look them up. I think that's all I want to talk about. I really invite your questions, your comments, your concerns. I love getting back to you and interacting with you. I do like to premiere my videos, and I'm going to try to be very consistent. Once again, life is settling down for us. I'm going to be doing them on Fridays, Eastern Standard Time. They'll be released at 12 o'clock, so lunchtime. That gives Europe a chance to actually view these around 5 o'clock, depending upon daylight savings time. And and the nice thing is we can chat. Hi, Jack. I'm going to say hi to Jack. He said hello to me in my last premiere video. And so you either want to watch the video or interact with me, and that's fine. But you can always leave comments. If you haven't subscribed, I'd appreciate it if you would. Click the thumbs up to like the video. Click the bell. And there's options when you click the bell that you can choose to see all the videos that I come out with. And like I said, I try to come out with one a week. I'm quite behind because of projects in the house. I've been working on the house, getting it ready for sale. So thank you for coming to my shop. I'm going to do my usual goodbyes in Hebrew. Shalom uvracha et kol hachaverim shali ba'aretz Yisrael b'Yerushalayim. Goodbye to all my friends in Jerusalem and Israel. Shalom masalami ruhmenoninte. Let me know if you know what that is, but that's Arabic. I said goodbye anyways. Masalami. Totzins, that's Afrikaans. Zaijian, that's Mandarin or Taiwan, mainland China. Not Cantonese in the south, or Hong Kong, where I used to live as well. Arrivederci, au revoir. Take care, stay safe in the shop, stay sharp in the shop, and don't hurry in the shop. My last tip, I promise you, we'll end it here. My last tip to you is take your time. If you're not feeling the creativity, then just walk away until you feel that creativity. Unless it's just you're doing stuff that's just like cookie puncher, cookie cutter. But at any rate, take care. Thanks for watching my channel. Really appreciate it. Oh, we're going to be doing a giveaway soon, where we did a giveaway a couple years ago. We'll do another SC Custom Design giveaway. It's going to be possibly, I'll have to find the 2 units that I had. But all you have to do is pay for the shipping. So, Mazel Tov, Shalom, take care, bye-bye.